most dangerous creature on Earth. And trust me, the answer's not what you think. So, what do you think it is? Go ahead, take a guess. A shark? A wolf? Something else? I'm telling you, the answer is probably gonna surprise you. Just let that sink in for a second. The greatest danger isn't a lion at its absolute peak. Nope, it's a lion that has forgotten its own power. And that idea, that lost potential, well, that's the very heart of the story we're getting into today. So this whole idea of a forgotten lion is perfectly captured in our main character. His name is Kale. Let's meet him. You see, in a world where you're expected to be fierce and loud to be a king, Kyle just wasn't. He was a total outsider in his own pride. I mean, the source material even says his roar sounded like someone stepped on a cat. He just didn't fit the mold. But Kyle's true power, it was hiding in plain sight. It wasn't about his muscles or how loud he could roar. It was all in his head. While the rest of the pride was all about brute force and fighting for that first step, Kyle's strength was his vision. He was already thinking 3 steps ahead, visualizing the entire battle before it even began. And this unique gift, this strategic mind of his, he shared it with his best friend, Darrow. Darrow was the kind of lion everyone looked up to. They were basically brothers. They trained together, fought side by side. Cal trusted him with everything. Every single plan, every single vulnerability. And, yeah, that was a mistake. A mistake that would end up costing him absolutely everything. Alright, so this is where the story takes a really sharp turn. The kingdom was getting ready for the grand battle to crown a new leader, and Kale had been preparing for months. He was ready to go. But the night before the battle, the one person he trusted with his life, he just walks right over to the enemy camp, and he gives them everything. Every strategy, every weakness, every single secret Kale had ever shared with him. Just think about that for a moment. The depth of that betrayal. So the next morning, Kale walks into the arena, and it's an ambush. Every move he made was predicted, every strategy was countered. It was a complete and public humiliation. And as he's lying there, defeated, the one sound he can hear is his best friend laughing from the crowd. I mean, have you ever felt that? That sting when the one person you thought had your back becomes the architect of your failure? That's exactly where Kale was. Rock bottom. So what do you do then? When you're at your absolute lowest, you have a choice to make. And for Kale, that choice begins right here, by the river. For 3 days straight, he didn't eat, he didn't speak. He just sat there, drowning in his pain. But on that 4th day, as he stared at his own reflection in the water, something inside him finally shifted. He asked himself this one simple but incredibly powerful question. And suddenly, this wasn't about Darrow anymore. This was about who was going to hold the pen, who was going to be the author of his life. And that one question, it changed his entire approach to life. First, his motivation completely flipped. He wasn't training for revenge anymore, he started training for self-respect. Second, he learned a valuable lesson: protect your plans, move in silence. And third, he stopped looking for approval from the crowd, and he started finding it within himself. So he got to work. He put his head down and rebuilt himself from the inside out. And then, eventually, the opportunity came for his return. You can see the timeline here. It's simple, but it's so powerful. It all started with that decision he made on day 4. That one decision led to 6 straight months of silent, focused work. And all that work finally led him here, to the second grand battle. He didn't come back with a big roar or some grand declaration. There was no drama. He just walked in quietly, executed his plan perfectly, and he won. His actions did all the talking. The lion finally remembered who he was. So why does Kyle's story matter? I mean, what's the big deal? Because the lessons he learned aren't just for lions. They're for us. Here's the first major lesson. Betrayal feels like the end of your story. But what if it's not? What if it's actually the beginning of your real one? It gives you the chance to rebuild yourself on a foundation that's 100% authentically yours. And what about jealousy? You know, when other people are envious of you? Kale's journey teaches us to reframe that completely. Don't see it as a threat. See it for what it is. It's a receipt. It's just proof that you have something valuable, something they wish they had. And finally, this might be the most important takeaway of all. It's about what confidence really is. It has nothing to do with never feeling fear or doubt. Real confidence is what Kale did on day 4. It's making the decision to get up and move forward anyway. It's an act of pure courage. So we end right where Kale started his big transformation. The next time life knocks you down, the next time someone tries to make you feel small, I want you to look in the mirror and ask yourself this exact question. And I think you'll find that your answer